Have you ever wondered, why do people love social media detoxes so much? Well, I have, and so I tried one. By the end of this video, you will learn the benefits of deleting social media, and I promise that you'll feel the biggest motivation you've ever felt to delete these apps off your phone. So let's get into it. So, first benefit, you get more creativity. I don't know if you feel like this too, but for me, social media really block my creativity. Like when I'm scrolling on Instagram, or when I was scrolling on Instagram back in the old days, I just couldn't think of anything creative. But then when I got into bed and I was starting to fall asleep, suddenly my mind got so creative. I started getting so many ideas, and I think it was because that was the only time I could really think and my mind could really wander and start to experiment in different ways. And I believe this is not only in my case, but also many other podcasters I've listened to stated the same issue, that consuming content on social media blocks their creativity. And also, what comes hand in hand with this is that you get a worse concentration with social media. And that's the second thing that I've seen to improve during my detox. And it's that I got better concentration. We all probably know this fact. We shouldn't be on our phones during our work or study time, because otherwise it's quite likely that we'll end up scrolling on the social media. So, the phones are in general kind of dangerous for our workflows. But here's the thing. If you delete social media off your phone, you eventually get a great device that you can easily use for your workflow, because phone, if they're used correctly, they are such great devices. There's calendar, there are the reminders, there are many digital tools that you can use to make your workflow easier. But social media make using phone for productivity much worse. And I think that deleting these apps of your work devices, not only your phone but also if you use iPad for work, deleting these apps from these devices makes the workflow much more usable. Also, you get much less of those dilemmas like, should I study first and then look at Instagram? Or should I just quickly check it now and risk scrolling for 1 hour? Well, you don't get this if you delete the app, Third, you get less of random icks. I know that title is bad. I admit that. But it's really those random icks. For example, you're insecure about your hair. I remember that in the summer, the light is not really great. Okay, I hope you can see me. Once in the summer, I was really having this detox, and then for a week, I downloaded TikTok, and instantly, I got so insecure about my hair. I suddenly started to hate my hair, and I was just constantly thinking about my hair. Literally, it was insane. And I still don't really get the huge effect that the social media had on me that week. And also, it goes hand in hand with other insecurities that social media make us feel. And if you delete those apps, I can, from my own experience, tell that you will get much less of these random icks, And I think it's because you get much less room for comparison, because you still see pictures of other people in the real life, but they're not somewhere where people post pictures from their real life and also pictures that are edited or staged. For example, if I take a vinyl, here you can see the Midnight's vinyl. Taylor here is looking great, but it's clear that this photo wasn't some random photo she took during her sleepless night. It's actually a photo that was staged, that she was intentionally posing for. And none of my friends have ever put out their album with their photo on it. So my brain, at least that's my deduction, my brain can easily recognize this photo and tell that this is not something it would consider normal. It is a photo that looks great, but it is photo that is staged, and my brain knows that. Whereas when you're on TikTok, so many TikToks are staged and are professionally recorded, but they look like they're created by amateurs and people that are doing TikTok for fun. And I believe that it's just so confusing, and it just makes us compare so much that it's unhealthy. So goodbye, Taylor. I'm putting her down, and we can continue. Fourth, you get less toxic relationship with your phone. I have already talked about this, but in a nutshell, by deleting social media, there are way fewer distractions on your device, which I think is important because we carry our phones everywhere, and so we should really be mindful about what we're having on our phones, because those devices track everything, and we really rely on them. And with social media on our phones, it is really easy to distract ourselves. But now, as I have deleted the social media from my device, there are kind of only two ways to distract myself, and it's podcasts and music. And you know, I think that if I should be distracted by something and I should choose the distraction, it would be podcasts or music. And let me tell you why. Firstly, podcasts. You know, you may say that podcasts are similar to social media, but I would disagree, because it's more like TV or some series on Netflix, because podcasts are just long form. You know, most of the podcasts are longer than 20 minutes. And I'm really following like two types of podcasts. The first one is the inspiring podcast, which in my opinion are, for example, the Mel Robbins podcast, or in some ways Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain. I really love these. Or I use them as a new source of information, because I used to use Instagram as my main source of information, but now that I don't have it on my phone, I listen to podcasts, and those are my local Czech news podcasts, which I really love and have a really great and valuable content. And also, as I said, music. So here's the spot where Taylor shines and all the other artists that I have on my phone. And I also like music. It's just my love. And if I should be distracted by something, I would want to be distracted by something that I love. And for me, that's music. So yeah. 5, you get more privacy. And this might be interesting to say as someone who is actively posting on YouTube. So like, I'm sharing my life online and I'm actively lowering the level of my privacy. But I believe that even if you compare YouTube and the short form social media like Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube Shorts, like I'm talking about long form YouTube, you get much more privacy by posting one long form video a week on YouTube than 6 IG stories a day, because I believe that YouTube gives you much more space when it comes to picking your topic that you want to talk about. And for example, if you're talking about some of your thoughts, you are not really showing that much of your privacy, whereas on Instagram there is not much space for these deep dives into topics, and it's more based on sharing your privacy. And so if you're sharing like 3 stories a day about what you did, what you ate, who you've met that day, I believe that it is showing much more from your life than for example with YouTube, which can be showing a lot from your life, but it also can be sharing a lot of your thoughts and a lot of even inspiring stuff. Also, I really love one thing about not using Instagram actively, and is that I don't really have to think about my online image so much, because I don't have to take photo shoots for my Instagram stories or Instagram posts, because I'm not making any. So if I take a photo or if I take a video, I know it's just for my own solo private purposes, and it's just for my memories. And so taking photos and videos is much more freeing and is much more enjoyable. And lastly, by deleting social media, you get much more time, and it's like a huge amount of time. I have read somewhere on the internet that an average person spends 2 hours and 21 minutes on social media per day. And I would say like, wow, because I feel like everyone around me is saying that they have not enough time. They're just behind their schedule, and that they wish their life had much more hours. But then they're like scrolling on social media for 2 hours and more, and I'm like, hey guys, but you have that time, but you're actually spending it on an activity that doesn't bring you anything valuable. And so if you delete social media, you will get much more time for friends, taking up hobbies, cooking, or even just thinking and clearing your mind. And also, it gives you just more time to enjoy your life and to live it more happily. So, these were my 6 reasons why you should quit social media. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Also, you can like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any other upload. And if you want to see more, watch this video that you can see on your screen. Otherwise, see you on Monday. Bye!